Thank you for joining today's webinar. We've got an exciting session for you, focused on how you can achieve better project automation with Microsoft Planner and Copilot. Let's get started. My name is Annie Levand, and I'm with the Microsoft Gold partner called Fragility. We've been implementing Microsoft project and portfolio management solutions and developing enterprise-level applications for over 20 years for large enterprises, including everything from engineering, construction, IT, and new product development. PMOs and CIOs typically come to us when they can't easily explain what's going on across all their projects. They don't know what resources are working and what work, and they have a hard time getting consistent reports and metrics to make project-based decisions. We're known for having a 90% on time, on budget track record for successfully implementing these solutions for clients. We offer services and solutions in 3 core areas: deployment and consulting services, Fragility's core business. We provide professional services for successfully planning and implementing Microsoft Project Portfolio Management, including Microsoft Project Online, Planner Premium, integrating PPM with a line of business applications, and delivering strategic portfolio management solutions to support top-level management planning. Fragility also offers a set of Hammerhead pre-built software solutions and accelerators based upon 20 years of experience, including a set of Hammerhead products that provide improved access to your cloud PPM data, accelerate access to visual reports and dashboards using Power BI, connect data between your PPM system with Microsoft Teams, and extend connectivity into Active Directory to improve visibility, insight, and control over your work, people, and projects. New to our offerings is Hammerhead Power Pro, which is a pre-built solution crafted on the foundation of the Microsoft Power Platform and Planner Premium. This offering is designed to help bring some of our lessons learned from this platform to your organization. Finally, Fragility provides post-implementation support services, including expert care, designed to assist your PMO with gaining on-demand expertise on the solution supported. We have a full online automated e-learning offering that can improve consistency and adoption for your users of your project management tools. You can learn more about all of our services and solutions on our website, fragility.com. We have upcoming webinars covering sessions on best practices for Project Planner Premium and PPM processing tools. Sign up for this and all our events following the links here, or ask for a copy of today's deck. All videos from this and previous series are available on our best practice playlist on YouTube listed on this page. Topics range from managing your digital transformation program using PPM technologies to integrating PPM with the line of agile business applications. Feel free to subscribe and access this library at any time and share with your colleagues. With that, I'm going to hand the presentation over to Rob Hirschman, partner here at Fragility. Rob has over 25 years of experience in the project and portfolio management space, initially at Microsoft working as a key regional lead on their client-facing teams, and now with Fragility. He's going to be taking us through today's agenda and content. If you have questions, please log them into the questions and answer manager at the top of your team screen, and we'll take those questions towards the end of our session. Rob, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Annie, and thank you everybody for joining today. Today, our topic is really focused on artificial intelligence and leveraging that within a project management context. So we're going to begin our presentation today talking a little bit about what is generative AI and how does Copilot, Microsoft's offering, fit into that. We'll then go through some of the business value points of leveraging an AI solution as it relates to project management and how you can start to approach your management about that and talk about the value. We'll talk about some initial Copilot and Planner together use cases that Microsoft has been developing and partners like us have come up with. We'll give you a demonstration, kind of go hands-on a little bit and show you some relevant examples of what Copilot and Planner can do together. We'll then talk about agentic AI, and really what agents are as it relates to Planner and the really opportunity there are to really leverage some of the agent technology that's out there with Microsoft. Finally, we'll wrap up with a discussion a little bit about some of the business opportunities that are available through Copilot and Planner. And of course, licensing. What would a Microsoft presentation be without talking about licenses that you need? Finally, we'll answer questions at the end. Let's talk a little bit about what is generative AI. Obviously, this has been the big buzz for the past 3 or 4 years. What generative AI does, it enables really the creation of specific content based on algorithms that a software company like Microsoft or Google provides. These algorithms are tailored to the kind of information that you're providing it, a series of prompts, and then it builds something called a large language model that is building up a history of all the prompts, building up a history of all the data you're pointing it to, and then it's coming up and it's speaking to you almost like a human being. So what it really does, instead of just being a bot that goes out there and does a search, it grows intelligence over time. It increases your productivity by taking things you do over and over again and potentially automating those tasks, automating your access to information, streamlining the process. If you were to take an email or a letter you've written, plug it into an AI agent like Copilot, it'll come back and give you some suggestions around that. And the AI agent is really designed to get smarter and better, and that's really what it's about. The key here with generative AI is users can use this to get insight in real time into data. And that data can be within your enterprise. It can be very focused on just stuff that your company or your government agency manages. It could be globally across the web. It could be within specific targeted websites. It could be specific documents or content. So users can really use it as a targeted tool to get suggestions based on what they're trying to do to make their jobs easier and better. Think of it as a very well-intentioned assistant, if you will, someone who maybe came out of college, maybe they're 2 or 3 years out of college. They're learning. AI is learning as well. And over time, AI is going to get more intelligent. And importantly, it really focuses on collaboration. These AI features that are provided by vendors like Microsoft and OpenAI really open the door to better collaboration and allowing really computers to get work done for us versus us having to do all the work. So generative AI is something, it's really a process, a set of tools behind it that are going to help us do our jobs better. If we look at it, there's really a transformation going on within the AI world right now. Microsoft looks at it and the industry looks at it. On the far left, the transformation begins with business growth, improving your customer experience. So do you have ways you can reduce some costs in commercial industry, increasing some of your revenues? How do you grow faster and better and leveraging AI technologies? The middle one is about optimizing your workflows and your business processes. This is about things like operational efficiency, cost savings, efficient improvements to the processes you already have, and streamlining procedures and processes internally to the organization. Finally, on the far right, AI has a huge opportunity to really boost your productivity, to improve the overall employee experience by improving, the cost, spending less, easier time or less time to on-ramp resources, employee retention rate, it increased that as well. So we look at it from a project management perspective, we're really kind of focused on the right side here and really the middle. When Microsoft looked at it, they said, hey, we want to improve the workflows and business processes. And project management is a very specific workflow. It's a very specific, well-defined business process that they're really leveraging Planner for. And to use Planner as a really good use case or a case study for leveraging generative AI. So the market looks at it this way. And this is really a transformation we're seeing across different industries. And it's not just Microsoft that's noticing this. AI has really come into the workplace. There are some trends. This was actually from a 2024 annual report by Microsoft and LinkedIn. The first trend on the left is 75% of the people that were surveyed are already using some kind of artificial intelligence technology at work. So if you go to work and you're leveraging some of the core tools of Microsoft Teams or using some competitive products, there's a really good chance AI is at work, whether you're in a Teams meeting and it's creating a transcript and doing a summary for you. There's some really great stuff that's embedded in these technologies to make your jobs more efficient and easier. You don't have to spend an hour summarizing a meeting. AI can do that for you. You can focus on the key points and the action items. The second key point in the middle is 78% of AI users, they bring their own tools to work. They're using OpenAI on their phone or Google AI or some kind of an AI engine to make their jobs easier and better. And consumerization of technology has been happening for 30 or 40 years. We're seeing that increasing as well. And finally, on the far right, 52% of those surveys that AI users, they admit that they use it for really important tasks, for writing emails or crafting letters or doing presentations. AI is really there to help make us more efficient. So we don't need more people. Maybe we can do more work in less time, and we can leverage AI to really help us do our jobs. It doesn't replace us, it augments us. Think of it that way. So it's really the augmentation of what we do, leveraging artificial intelligence. So, Microsoft comes to the table with a very specific offering in this space. We look at what Microsoft offers is Copilot. Microsoft Copilot is Microsoft's AI engine. There's different flavors of Copilot. There's the Bing Copilot, which is kind of the public version. There's the Copilot in your enterprise. And there's also something called Copilot Studio, where you can build your own copilots and agents. Copilot is really designed to enhance overall productivity by providing artificial intelligence features and functions leveraged in the day-to-day tools you use every day, whether it's Word or Excel or PowerPoint or Office 365 or Teams. Microsoft has been integrating this AI into the tools you use every day to make it easier. So if you're maybe writing a document or coming up with a contract, Copilot can be there. You can ask Copilot a series of questions and it can help you craft that document. It can create documentation for you. In the case of Planner, it's going to be able to look at data that we have in our project management system and help us understand, analyze, and make decisions. But what we can also do is automate repetitive tasks. So instead of having to do something every day that you just don't like to do, I can have the Copilot run and do those things for me, so I can then again focus on high value activities. It also offers real-time insights into what's going on, not just on projects, but anything, and also suggestions of things you can do to get more proactive. The more questions people ask the AI engine in Copilot, the smarter and more intelligent it's going to get. It's building those prompts into its large language model. And finally, it empowers the collaboration of team members because, again, they can focus on their most important tasks, not going back and going through and creating all the notes and doing all the follow-up. It can do a lot of that for us so we can get more productive. So that's really the idea. Copilot is Microsoft's offering in this space. And if we look at what Copilot offers, and then we're going to get into how Planner relates to this, it really is your artificial intelligence assistance for work. It's really grounded on the left in chat and web grounding. So if I wanted to look out and find information that's publicly available, I can use Copilot for that. It has work grounding, which is the second one over. And this is looking inside my enterprise. You see there's a little switch, web or work. Work keeps things contained. So you basically firewall off all your data and your content and say, Copilot, look within these walls, find things and help me generate things that are important to my job. So you can keep it and contain it in your environment. And that's really important. Responsible AI is everything to Microsoft and the industry as a whole. Additionally, Microsoft spends a lot of time integrating this capability into its 365 apps, whether it's Teams, which we use every day, whether it's SharePoint, whether it's Office and Word and PowerPoint. It's being integrated in to make the experience easier. So you don't have to go out to another website to get information. And finally, the fourth part is really the ability to build your own, to roll your own. Microsoft provides lots of examples, which you'll see in Planner, but you always have the ability to make your own Copilots and make your own agents. And that's what the Copilot Studio is really designed for, to help you get there. So we're going to show you examples of a couple of these different ones as we get into our demonstration. But below it all is enterprise-grade security, privacy, and compliance. Without that, none of this works. And so it's really important if you're headed down this road that your organization is actually making the investments to make sure you've determined your governance and your procedures and your processes for leveraging AI to ensure it's responsible. And then you can start to apply it to applications like project management. And today, again, we're focused more on the 365 app, but you will see a little bit on the work grounding here and a little bit on the Copilot Studio as well. So let's talk about what Microsoft has built specific to Planner. So when we talk about the early Copilot capabilities that Microsoft has put in place, they're really looking at that large language model they've built out to do a couple of things. One is commanding. I want the system to do certain things. Go do this for me, create a task for me, update information, remove something for me. So commanding is really the first thing Microsoft has been working on. The second one is creating a plan in Planner. Hey, I have a marketing plan. Create the typical tasks we would use based on other projects we've done. So the creation of information in the system. The third one, which is the initial kind of set of use cases, is more about question and answer. How's my project doing? What's the status? Do I have people that are over allocated? Do I have any key risks? Really the ability to ask questions and get quick answers versus having to sift through lots and lots of data. And finally, the ability to generate status information, whether it's on the page or in an email, so people can get notified very quickly and easily. So Microsoft is leveraging Copilot paired up with Planner, following some of these typical use cases. And there are really kind of three use cases they initially targeted that are available today in Planner in preview. The first of those is supporting different planning scenarios, things like goal setting. Hey, help me set goals for this marketing project, or defining specific goals and objectives I want to put in place based on previous projects I've done. So you can go in and prompt it, and it will actually help you generate these, which we'll show you. Organizing your plan. Hey, move tasks that are under this over here. So it can move data in the system, and also finding context. Really a key scenario is generating information for you. Instead of you having to take many hours to put it together, it's going to generate suggestions, and then you're going to have to really curate those suggestions and monitor that, and then create the plan that you want. So the planning scenario is the first one we'll be showing you in our demonstration. The second one is the execution, the project management scenarios. And this is where we're trying to manage the actual work we have. Things like going in and updating tasks on a plan, or starting to identify some of the risks on a plan, or triaging some of the new work we have. Microsoft has been looking at, how do I check on progress? That's a really big one. If you have a schedule that has 300 lines, I don't want to have to go through all of that to check on progress. I want to ask the AI engine, hey, Copilot, give me status on this project, and it'll give me a good summary so I know where things are, so I can quickly communicate that. And finally, going in and starting to look at things like rebalancing the work to make sure we can finish on time and on budget within scope. So scenario two is the project management. The third scenario is around execution. And this is really about making decisions as the project is kind of in the meat of it all. It's deciding what comes next. It's doing things like identifying the steps to complete the task. What are the 3 or 4 things that need to be done for me to get that blog post up there? Finding people with expertise. This is a kind of a really good scenario of finding someone who's worked on a project like this before that's delivered these tasks. Looking at a task's progress, and finally looking at context around this information. What's really nice is all of the Planner premium information, we'll talk about the different versions of Planner it'll support, is all available in a database in the back end, something called the Dataverse. So the large language model can actually sift through that database and look at this information. And that's really what Planner Premium and the Copilot are really doing, is they're helping you make decisions and act. So without further ado, let's jump into our demonstration. I'm going to start today's demo by getting into Office 365. And we're going to start really in the Planner app. We can get to that Planner app through Microsoft Teams, or simply by clicking on Planner, which will come up on our screen here. Same user interface, it's consistent. And so what we're going to do is we've got all of our Planner plans here. Now, a basic Planner, the core one, the free one, Office 365, isn't enabled with Copilot at this point. It's really more for project management scenarios. So I'm going to be going in and looking at a project I have. This is in Planner Premium. And how I know it's in Premium when it comes up is I have different tabs at the top. I have my grid, my board, and my timeline, but you can see this looks like a project schedule, because it is a project schedule built in the Planner Premium client here in the desktop. I go into my board view. I have a Kanban board. I have a timeline. So I know, again, this is all web-based, and I'm doing this through the Planner user interface, but I have the schedule here and how the project is progressing, my Gantt chart. I have charts, people, goals, and assignments. But what I want to use Copilot for is I'll see Copilot show up here on the top right. So if I have one of the proper licenses and I've got Copilot in my environment, when I click on Copilot, you'll see it's in preview today. It's really going to give me 4 different options of things I can do. It says, do you want to create something? Do you want to understand something? Do you want to edit something? Or do you want to ask a question? Down here, you see I have different prompts. So these are the prompts that Microsoft has built out, some representative ones. So if I want to understand something, make a list of my highest priority tasks, or tell me who's working. And these are representative use cases that Microsoft has come up, prompts they've come up with. So let's ask Copilot to create a status report for this project. So Copilot is going to run. It's going to be looking at all the data there. It's going to pull this information together. And then once I have this, run the status on this project. Okay. And let's see what comes up here. Looking for a status of the project. And here we go. Again, it's still in preview, so sometimes you get little surprises. Sure, here's the current status of this project. It shows me who the project manager is, the start and end date, the duration, pretty long project, 31% done, effort completed, effort remaining. And if I scroll down a little bit, I'll start to see other information. It has several tasks across different buckets. Would you like more details on specific tasks? Yeah, show me tasks that are late, that are due this week. That might be important as a project manager. And I can see if there are any tasks that are due this week that are late. And well, here are some tasks that are due this week that are late. And it's going to show me right here, I've got the developed training specifications, and it gives me all the information about the task. Develop training specs, identify training delivery. It looks like everything around training is running late right now. That's pretty important. So I may want to take this information and I could say, who is responsible for these tasks? I can see who the owner of the tasks are. I'm just going to look over it. And again, I can see it's Allie. So Alex is responsible for the first one. See, no one is specific for this. I haven't assigned any people. The modular code, I've got about 9 people working on it. And then testing modules, I've got Allie as well. So a lot of this is focused around Allie and her work. So I can ask other questions. So I can say, what's our next milestone? And it's going to look at all the milestones coming up. It's going to look at the dates, look at the current date, and it's going to tell us what the next milestone coming up is. Next milestone right now is the integrated testing task. Set to start on this date and it's ending on July 14th. So it looks like we're about 4 days out from that task. Okay. And finally, I can ask a question. Maybe I want to know something about the resources. Are there any over-allocated resources? This project. Let's see what Copilot has to say. So this is the core version of Copilot that's coming alongside Planner. And over time, as we ask more questions, we do our internal prompt engineering. It's going to learn, and it's also going to be improved by Microsoft and the prompt engineering they're doing as they're looking across thousands of tenants with people using this technology today. So it's looking for overallocated resources. And it looks like there are some overallocated resources. Looks like Alex has been assigned to 16 tasks. Allie has 16. They indicate that the individuals may have a heavy workload. So in that case, I might want to go over to the charts, or I may go into a Power BI report to get a little more information. So this is a good example and shows you how within the core, within the Planner Premium product, you can come over here and access Copilot and have it start to do things for you. This also works in the Microsoft Teams interface. But what if I wanted to do a little more than that? Agents. Agentic AI is becoming a very, very big buzz out there. What are agents? AI agents in Copilot are really designed to streamline your workflow and boost efficiency. They function by analyzing any user input you have and providing any kind of relevant suggestions or actions. So they're essentially going out there and they're getting information. They're doing something very targeted and very specific. So I can have an agent that goes out and grabs data from my resource information, grabs data from my task information, puts information into a status report format. I can build a very specific agent or a bot that's going to go do something very specific to the needs I have. It's going to help me analyze that data. And then people are going to interact with this agent by asking normal English questions like I just did. Hey, what's the status of this project? Or where are things headed? Or do I have a resourcing challenge right now? You can build agents. And the idea is this is all integrated in with Office 365 applications. What they're also going to do is these agents have intelligence behind them. They're using the models behind them, and they're going to be learning to improve responses over time. So they're looking at your data, but they're growing based on what other people are doing with the technology as well. And they do come integrated with Office 365 today, which is really nice. So you can go out and design and build your own agents. And Microsoft has a series of pre-built agents that are out there in Office 365 today. A lot of the future of where this is going is agentic AI. It's having agents that do very specific tasks so I can automate those tasks to make my life easier. So instead of just answering a question or having it do something in general, I want it to do something very specific. And as we go forward, if you think about your job, maybe there are 5 or 10 things you do on a day-to-day basis, where you can have an agent that does that, at least gets you enough information so you can look at it and make a decision instead of you having to put that spreadsheet together or pull the data over or make a phone call. Maybe there's ways that the agent can do that stuff for you. Agents are going to make our lives a lot easier. So when we look at Microsoft's AI agent with project management, it does a couple of things. The first thing it does, it can automate project management tasks. So Microsoft has built something called the project management agent, which is now available in preview, again, on top of Copilot. So it's running in there. It can help you analyze your data to provide insights into that. It also assists with resource allocation and ideally scheduling across different groups of resources you have. It can enhance collaboration across your teams. And importantly, it's going to learn. It's going to learn from interactions with different users so that it's going to get smarter and better. So you can have agents that do different things, just like you have apps on your phone that do different things as well. Think of an agent in this very same model. So what we're going to do is give you a demonstration of the project management agent that Microsoft recently released about 3 months ago. It's in preview as well, which you may have available in your tenant. And then we're going to show you what it's like to build an agent, to go out and build something that meets a very specific requirement or purpose you have. Okay. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going into the Planner app again to look at some of the agents. I'm going to go into Office 365 here. Okay. And I'm going to go into Planner, the Planner app again. I'm going to go to one of the plans I have. It's an action item plan. And this will come up here. So again, you see the grid, the board, the timeline, the action items, the goals, everything is right here as well. I'm going to go into Microsoft Teams to do this. A little more efficient to do it there. Okay, so I see my plans here. Now I'm in Microsoft Teams, and I see the same plans. So when I click on the first one, this is one of the plans I've got active right now. Up here in a second. Here we go. So now we have a little different view. So if we went into Planner Premium before, we had our grid, our board, our timeline. But with the Project Manager agent, if you enable this, you'll see there are a couple of new tabs here. There's one called Project Manager. It has a little rocket ship next to it. Okay. And that's going to tell us this is the Project Management agent. There's a page for this, and it says Project Manager is here to help you put plans of action in place and complete your goals. So you could come in here, and this is a pre-built agent Microsoft has. Again, just a representative example of what's possible. What are my goals for the project? I can put those in, and it can help you generate goals. I can upload a document. Maybe I've got my 4 or 5 or 6 goals for the project. It'll sift through that and create goals in the actual plan. It's going to show me things like the recent activity by the project management agent. It looks like the project management agent has an activity here where it needs updates. It needs insight into that. And I can go and I can open that in the Planner board here, and it'll open it right in Planner. What I can do in that project manager agent, though, it's going to tell me, here are the team tasks, the tasks that are out there that the entire team is responsible for, where a specific individual hasn't been assigned. I can go and say, you know what, project manager, you take these on. I don't have anybody to do them, and you keep me up to date on those. Or I can go in and I can assign them to people. It's going to summarize the tasks that are coming due. So I can very quickly see the tasks that are 30 days overdue, click right into them and update them. And then I can see the tasks that are coming due. It looks like we're going to be finishing this project in the next 5 days. So the agent is really going to pull all this information together. And in one place, it can help us generate tasks. It can help us get to certain information. It can help us assign people to tasks and activities. It can help us understand context. This is a representative agent Microsoft has built. They've also added a tab here called reports. This is not going to replace any of the Power BI reports you might already have. But what it does is it says, hey, writing reports just got easier. Let's take a look at what the agent can do. So let's get started. And I want a report in this case that reports on maybe the last 2 weeks of work. And what should the report cover? Cover all important parts of the project and who is working on what tasks. Okay, so what I can do is I can say, okay, project management agent, generate this. The agent, again, it's got pre-built components in the background. It's going to pull this together. And then in a few minutes, we will have a status report. And then I'm going to show you an example as this is building of a status report we built just yesterday. And this is the status report it produced. The date of the report, the reporting period. It shows us an executive summary. It says it's at risk right now because we must be behind on a lot of our tasks. It's giving us a summary of what's going on with overdue tasks. It's showing us a chart of tasks that are incomplete or in progress right now. It's talking about the project. The project goals are to improve operational efficiency, improve our forecasting capability. It's showing us some of our key milestones and visualizing those on a visual timeline here. It's showing us a summary of the work in progress and looking at upcoming actions and when it was generated by who. And I could go right into the plan from here. So again, instead of having to generate all this stuff to create a document for it, the agent is going to go out and get this and put it together, and it can improve over time. It can even share this as a newsletter and post it out on a SharePoint site, have different versions of this. Maybe it needs a review and I can route it to somebody for approval, or I can close this status report up. And the idea is it's really going on, it's making our life easier. And in about a minute, you see it's generated a status report as of today. Looks like we had a little bit of improvement. We went from 45 to 36% of tasks that are overdue. Things got a little better. Here's our milestones. Looks like we added a couple milestones from the past week. And here are some highlights and achievements. We have progress on this task. Procurement is improving. HR processes are underway. The tasks are getting better. Oversight is coordinated. It's going to point out some challenges. We have some issues and an impact and a potential next step. We have procurement status. And it's also going to go through the work in progress like we showed you before and look at any action items we have coming up, the project completion. It's the final milestone. So the project management agent can potentially make your life easier. If you're working with individual plans that are in Planner Premium today, it can help you summarize those without having to add additional technology. And the agent is really great. This is a good example of the Microsoft agent. And again, it's in preview today. You'll see the little rocket ship that'll tell you that that's actually the project manager agent. But what if I wanted to build my own agent? What if I had a specific set of things I wanted an agent to do? And this is really where Copilot comes into play, where we can go out. If we go into Office 365 or M365, there's an area here. If you have Copilot Studio, it says all agents. So this is going to show me all the agents that are out there. And Microsoft is building an agent store. So you can go out and view different agents that are out there that help you do different things. There's an agent that helps you build prompts, an agent that helps you analyze complex data that might be in Excel, an agent that helps come up with ideas or visualize data. What we wanted to do is actually create an agent that does something very specific. So I'm going to go to the area called My Agent, and it's simply, you're just going to plug in what you want the agent to do, and it's going to go about building this agent by asking you a series of questions. It's all about the prompt. So in this case, I'm starting from scratch. I want an agent to do something, and the agent is going to be here on the right. So what we did just yesterday is we built a planner summary agent. We have another one that's a meeting summary one, which takes summaries from meetings that are in Teams and creates a PowerPoint deck out of them. Thought that's pretty cool. We have another one that looks at our project management information. But let's take a look at the planner summary bot. So what we told the system is we want an agent that sends a daily email summarizing the current and late tasks on a planner plan or all my plans, along with any key dates and milestones. I put instructions in there. I said, send a daily email at 8 a.m. summarizing this. It should provide a summary of key dates and milestones, and it should format the email with a table listing all of this information. Some knowledge, if I wanted to add additional knowledge or a URL, we can actually have it generate images if we have specific images, and then it's going to suggest prompts. A daily summary, send a summary. Key dates, so this is the data it's actually looking at, and I can add to that if I want to, the prompt model. So essentially what it's done is by walking through what I'm looking for and defining the characteristics of the agent, it's built the planner summary bot over here. It's going to give me a daily summary. It's going to provide key dates. It's going to look at overdue tasks. It's going to give weekly task summaries. It's going to show me the milestones. It's going to have a task summary here. So I can run this, and then I'm going to actually run the bot now. I can run it, and what it'll do, it'll actually send me information referring to sending the planner summary, kicking off of something else I want. Number 1, please. We'll actually run this. And here is the summary based on what I built. So it's actually looking at my planner plans, and it's saying, okay, the planner daily summary as of today, this includes all overdue and upcoming tasks. You see I have 2 overdue tasks here. One is on the Power Pro launch. Then down here, I've got tasks that are due this week. I've got a budget application, and I've got some project automation stuff, who it's assigned to, and then I've got some key milestones. And then it's saying, do you want me to send this email to you or people on your team so they stay informed? And I can say yes or no. So within about 10 minutes, I built a bot that looks at the data across my projects, provides me with a summary, and shows me information that's important to me, so I can just focus on this information. It would put this in an email to me if I wanted to, or I could just tell it, just send me an email that just has the late tasks I have. Pull this up here. And then I had the project manager agent I built. It needs input. And it's telling me, hey, by the way, one of the tasks you have on your project needs input. Open this in Teams and progress this. So I can have it interact with email, but it's not living in my email. It's actually a bot that I go out and I run. I schedule it, and then it's going to alert people or send summaries of information. That's what I want this bot to do. And you can build your own agents. That's the best part. If you get access to Copilot Studio, you can build bots that do different things, that build slides, summarize project management data, summarize data across a series of plans. So I don't have to go look at 5 different plans. I can actually go to one summary every day and understand the tasks. And that's really the beauty of artificial intelligence. We're really in the early stages of this right now. There's some great opportunities, and Microsoft has given everybody a really good head start with using Planner and Copilot. So, what are some of the business opportunities here? There's a lot of value that can potentially come from leveraging Copilot and Planner. And this can be something you communicate to your management team as you're thinking about, going down this road. The first one of those is really enhancing your ability to make decisions by getting access to that data in real time. And if you're like me, you manage dozens of projects at a given time, you want a summary. You want to know what's going right, what's going wrong, all in one place. And if you're doing individual projects, it's really hard to get that. Copilot can help you with that. It can also help you automate some of the routine tasks, freeing up your time and time of your team members. They can go to one place to see all their tasks, or send them a notification when things aren't going properly, or alert people in a certain situation through Teams or email. It can also improve your internal and external customer engagement, personalizing experiences, adding images, using normal English language instead of the language of a robot. It really can help you get better engaged with your customers. It can importantly increase your operational efficiency across departments. People see you using AI and it's being communicated in a way where it's easy and it's quick and it's efficient and it's saving everybody time. They're going to want to adopt the same processes as well. So it can help you say, hey, what are the top 3 or 4 things we do every day that we can streamline with Copilot? And finally, it's going to give you extra time to drive innovation. You're going to have faster project delivery. You're going to have more insight into what's going on. It really is a huge business opportunity. It's really one of the first leaps we've seen in project management tools really in the past 10 years or so. We went from kind of standalone project management systems to enterprise project and portfolio management to really analytics driven. And now we have the ability to leverage AI on top of that. It's a huge opportunity for us all. So importantly, you gotta have a license to do that. What license or license are you going to need to use this? Well, to leverage Copilot that's in Planner today, you will need a Planner and Project Plan 3 license, it's called. The Plan 1 license won't get you access to it, and the free 365 license won't. So if you have a 3 or even a 5, which is a higher level, that's going to give you access to Planner Premium and Copilot running in preview in the Planner Premium, as well as that Project Manager agent. It is not available today in that core free version of Planner. So if you're thinking about it, really think about Planner Premium and Plan 3. The license is going to provide you with access to the Planner Copilot, both in the web and Microsoft Teams. We kind of showed you both in the demonstration, but you have access to both of them through the license. And it's also going to give you access to any agents like this that Microsoft builds as of today. The project management agent that is starting to show up in a lot of tenants that we showed you, which kind of helps you summarize information on one page on one or a series of projects, that is available through that Plan 3 license. Future AI workloads as well. Microsoft is saying, hey, we're going to include that in that Plan 3 license. So Plan 3 is going to be what we call the hero license, or really kind of the top level project manager license for using Planner today. So really think about getting a Plan 3 license. Great news, you might already have it. If you're using Microsoft Project, Project Professional, Project Online, through that's the Plan 3 license for your project managers, same license. So it crosses over and you get access to both those services and all the tools through that Plan 3 license. Really importantly, you can't just flip Copilot on for Planner. Your organization, there has to be an organizational decision to put the underlying infrastructure and governance in place around Copilot. To say, hey, AI is okay, and Copilot is good, and here's how we're going to leverage Copilot, and here's what you want you're doing and not doing. We're going to keep it in the work environment. We're going to allow you to go out to the web, one, the other, or both, so you can really firewall it off and control what people have access to, what they can do with AI, because AI can get very, very powerful. But once that is established in your environment, the governance, the infrastructure, the IT has said, hey, you can now have access to it. As long as you have the proper licenses and you're using Planner Premium, Copilot will show up. So again, you have to really establish that underlying infrastructure first. It is not a standalone service, Copilot with Planner. So if you are interested, recommend definitely talking to your IT group about where they are with the adoption of AI and Copilot. So hopefully we gave you a decent overview of some of the capabilities that are available with AI and Planner from a project management perspective, focus on some of the business value. At this point, we'll open the floor to any questions. Annie?
Thanks, Rob. Please remember to enter your questions in the questions and answer manager at the top of your team screen. I do see there's one question in the queue. Rob, does the schedule calculate earned value management metrics such as CPI, SPI? Also, does it track cost versus actual cost?
Great question. So while Microsoft Project does all of that stuff, Planner Premium does not yet do that. It has a simplified scheduling engine that, while it allows you to baseline and track your progress against your baseline, it does not do any CPI and SPI, and it doesn't do any cost management down at the task level. If that's something that's a requirement, you probably want to look at the Microsoft Project client for that right now. So.
And to build on top of that question, does it generate EVM metrics from the plan?
So there's no EV capability in a Planner plan today. So no, it wouldn't be able to do that. That's something Microsoft Project could do.
Any other questions, folks? Otherwise, we'll continue on. If you're interested in exploring the use of Microsoft Planner Premium in conjunction with Copilot to manage and report on your portfolio of projects, resources, and work, reach out. Our team can assist with helping you understand and evaluate your options, including laying out a roadmap for deploying some of the technology, developing a plan for implementation, as well as guiding you on the support required for success. Last year, we launched our Hammerhead Power Pro Accelerator for Planner Premium, which provides a solid framework for driving consistency and standardization across your portfolio, including a set of pre-built functionality around program management, resource management, and status reporting. Here's a link to the recording covering that solution, which is also enabled for use with Copilot. Thank you again for joining our webinar today. We appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you online for our next session. Have a great day.